Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an unexplained construction video on the Caucasus, C-A-U-C-A-S-U-S, Caucasus Defensive Tower Network. I, I'm, I've heard that pronounced 100 different ways, so bear with me on that. The Caucasus Mountains cross the section of land between the Black and Caspian Seas on the northeastern border of Turkey. The rough and rugged landscape contains some of the most treacherous mountains in the world and dozens of isolated mountain valleys. There are over 70 communities who develop their own cultures and languages and rarely interact despite being only a few kilometers apart. The terrain really is that treacherous. Over the centuries, multiple invaders found this terrain too difficult and simply not worth the effort. Some coastal and low-lying areas were conquered and some trade routes were established, but the high mountain areas remained isolated. Megalithic sites and unexplained constructions saturate the area. Check out my video on Kara Hora. That structure is in this area. Before I get into the rest of this video, though, if you enjoy my content, it would really help me out if you could hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my content, and post a comment or two. Remember, I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Friends can still disagree. And check me out over on Rumble for my political commentary and weekly current events. If you enjoy a good book, check out my author page over on Amazon.com. My pen name is H.L. Anderson. You can find all of my books there. My books are quirky weird, so if you enjoy different reading material, check out my author page, H.L. Anderson, over on Amazon. All right. Along with the megalithic site I told you about, Kara Hora, there are hundreds of stone towers constructed over thousands of years. Their foundations predate any written records in the area. The tower houses were built all across the mountains. They are narrow with thick walls and with entrances built so high that one had to climb to gain entry. Many are built into rock faces too high up for agriculture. The towers are built over older constructions and on foundations that predate those written records. Many of these towers are positioned like an infrastructure allowing communication through the mountain passes from tower to tower, but they predate all of the isolated communities. These towers are a defensive military construction that rivals anything built in Europe in the Middle Ages. But the earlier layers are a complete mystery. Nobody knows who built them. The timeline of these towers simply does not make any sense. The isolated communities in these mountains barely know about the others. Their oral traditions and individual cultures and languages indicate that they have been separated by the geographical terrain for literally thousands of years. Yet, at some point in the last 2,000 years, these towers were built. And sometime, thousands of years before that, someone built structures which collapsed or were destroyed, we're not sure which, maybe to provide the foundations for those towers. At some point in the past, someone in that area coordinated enough of a workforce to build not only these towers, which act as a military defensive signal network, but the massive underground megalithic compound at Kara Hora. But when you ask the locals, they just kind of smile at you like you're crazy. Yeah, the entire area defies explanation. You have individual communities in those mountain valleys that barely know of each other and don't interact hardly at all because of the terrain. Yet, somehow or other, they all coordinated to build those towers before they became individual communities. I don't know. I don't. There's no explanation for that according to the geographical record or any kind of a historical. To the best of our knowledge, nobody has ever conquered those areas. So nobody could have organized a slave workforce. Nobody could have organized any kind of a communal type thing where everybody said, okay, everybody send 10 guys and we'll get this done. You know, we planning and coordinating and like that. No, it never happened. It never happened. So, At any rate, if anybody else has any more information or if I got something wrong, stick that in the comments. Sure love to hear it. You folks have a good one now. God bless one and all.